Hey guys, what's up? Git for the Intimidated 7, a good Git workflow. I'm Ranish. So today we're going to talk about using Git and GitHub with branches and pushing and pulling. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about merge conflicts, and that'll wrap up this Git for the Intimidated series. Of course, you have my contact info, so you can always reach out to me personally, and I can help you with anything. So in the last one, we saw some ways to push and pull to projects, fork projects, and just use Git and GitHub. But ideally, how should we be working with other people in our projects? And the harsh truth is there's no one perfect answer. Depending on the complexity of your project, the roles that your team members have, and how your project is architected, like if it's Rails or some other platform, you'll probably use really different workflows. So I'm just going to show one basic one in this screencast, working with a few people, like a small team, and probably like a Rails app or something like that. And this is because we're going to learn branching, something that teams are often intimidated by. One of the main things I was intimidated by a long time ago with Git. And I'm not going to try and show a branch diagram. Just Google image search Git branching, and you'll see what I mean. That's commonly how people explain branches, by like little dots and lines. I might show one for quick reference here, but let's just get messy and make some branches. It's not rocket science, you guys. So what is a branch? So let's open up the project we've been writing. So it's here on my desktop. It's a folder called Story or Cool Story, depending on how I did in the last one. And if we open it up, let's see. If we open it up, we have this file called coolstory.txt. And if we open it up, it's a 3-line story that we started writing. Cool. So let me open up the command line. Let me push this to the side. So let's open up the command line and navigate to that story. Alright. Just give me 1 second to get totally situated here. So I want you to navigate to this story, this folder right here, wherever you have it, and I want you to run git status. And cool. See how it says we're on the branch master right now? So you're always on a branch whether you like it or not. And more often than not, that is the master branch. Every single Git project has a master branch. It's always made after you run git init. A really good analogy of the master branch is it's the main narrative of your project. It's what you'll finally deliver to a customer or put on the internet, and eventually all of your other branches will be merged into the master branch to create one finished product. But until then, you can have any other number of extra branches. And the purpose of a branch is really simple. It's to isolate work from each other so the changes you make in one branch don't affect the work people are doing in another branch. So imagine if you were doing a feature like sending email in your app, but then someone else does some billing work, but it breaks your email work. Like, that's tricky. So if you have email in one branch and billing in another, and then they're put in sequentially later, put in email into the master, then billing into the master, you can handle all those issues one at a time. So it's just a nice workflow for you. But enough talk, let's create a branch. So our branch is going to be practical to the story. We're going to create a list of characters to add to our funny sketch. So to create a branch, we're just going to run a simple command. You've actually run it before, but it has this -b flavor. That means make a new branch, and it's called character list. You've run git checkout before. And let me make this a little wider. And there you go. Switch to a new branch, character list. So now we are on a new branch. This new branch has everything in our old branch and all the commits of our old branch. So this project had a few commits. Let's run git log. And yeah, it had one prior commit. So this new branch character list has this old prior commit of first commit with story. That's the text of it right there. All right. So, but let's make a new file in this branch now. So we're going to make a new file in this branch, in this folder. So if you look, we made a new file. And look, now we have this character list here also, right? And let's open it up. And let's add some characters. So there's Manish, Mr. Burns, there's Smithers, and there's a monkey. And we saved it. And we're going to run git add-a and git commit-m. Populating character list. And cool. Now we have this commit, right? So let's run git log. And there are our two commits. We have this commit we just did, and then there's that prior commit of first commit with story that we got from our master branch. We inherited from our master branch. So there you go. So now we have this, right? Let's run git checkout master. There's no dash b now because master already exists. We're just going to switch back to our master branch. Alright, switched to branch master. Now we shouldn't actually be seeing that extra file we made. And look, there's only one file in here now. You run ls, same story, and you run git log. Hey, there's just one commit again. So in our master branch, we don't have any of the work that's in our character branch because we haven't merged that character branch back into master. I'm going to control K out. So let's go git checkout. Oh, and now it's a good time to introduce a command called git branch all. Dash 2 dashes. And when you run git branch all, it tells you all the branches in your git repository. So I'm going to do git checkout, and of course you can see we're on master because it has a little asterisk. So I'm going to do git checkout character list. Now I'm back on the character list branch, and now if I run ls, look, I have my two files again. And sure enough, I have my two files and my character list, and you can see that it's showing the content that's in there. So cool. So now this project has two branches, and we're moving in between them. And that's all branching is. It's super simple. There's nothing more to branching than that. Making a branch and then populating it with some files and stuff on its own. So now one person will work on the character list branch and another person works on the master branch, and when we're ready we just merge it back into master. Now normally I would show you how to merge this character branch into master here on the command line. So normally I would show you how to merge this one, character list, down into master, and there'd just be one branch and that's your finished product. But I'm actually going to do this on GitHub, and that's how a lot of people do it. So I'm going to open up GitHub. Alright, so I'm going to make this project live on GitHub real quick. So, cool story. You guys remember all this stuff. But it's also a good review. Okay. So I'm just going to do that. Oh. And I'm going to do git remote add. And then the git fetch u. Alright, and now our project's on GitHub. Let me control K out. And then when we refresh this page, cool. So there we go. And actually you notice just our master branch is on GitHub right now, because that's the only thing we've pushed up to master actually. So, we have this cool story in here. And what we want to do is actually, rather than do it on our command line, we want to actually push our character list branch up to GitHub. So, let's do git branch -- all. And run git status. And notice now that we have a GitHub, a project lives on GitHub, we now have this extra branch right here, remotes, origin, master. So we're on the branch character list. And I'm actually going to say git push origin master, not master, character list. And there you go. This will push the character list branch up to GitHub. Okay? And you should get this whole list right here saying it's done. Wah wah, pretty cool. And now let's actually go to GitHub and refresh the page. And look, actually, it's already saying that it has this branch character list. But if you look right here in our branches, now we have character list and master actually. And right now we're on master, but let's go to character list, and it refreshes the page and it shows our two files right there. So that's really cool. Alright. And so that's it. Now both branches live on GitHub. Any branch you make locally, you have to push it up to GitHub. Okay. And let's see, what am I going to do now real quick? So normally when you push a branch up, you'll see this pull request thing right here If you don't, you can actually go right there and right there and then manage your pull request. But generally when you push a branch up, you immediately get this pull request thing. So let's click it, because what we're going to do actually is we're going to merge this character list into our master branch. And so basically at this point, when we're doing a merging or a pull request, we're basically saying the character list branch feature is all done, we've written all our characters, we're ready to push it into master and go on with our work. So if you look, I just clicked on the pull request, and look at this arrow. That's what's telling what's going on. It's saying that Ranish Cool Story, this branch, with this branch right here, is getting pushed into Ranish Cool Story, the master branch. So that's what's going on, and you can actually write yourself like a little note here and stuff. Notice that was my like commit in that branch, but you can write other stuff. And send pull request. Okay, and now we're not done, it's not merged. You go to this like new status type page, and it tells you what's going on, and people can be assigned and stuff like that to like manage these things. But you can automatically merge the pull request. And then confirm merge. And then finally, once you've merged it in, so there was no errors or conflicts, they were able to merge it because it's two separate files, it won't be a problem. You can actually delete the character list branch on GitHub. That won't delete it on your local computer, so don't worry, but I'm actually going to do that. And you can restore it if you get antsy. But okay, that's it. So now go to refresh the thing, and if you look, now our master branch has both files in it. Remember how our master branch didn't earlier? Now it does. We just merged our branches together. But that's on GitHub. That's not on my computer here at home right now. So I'm going to go back up, and in fact, I'm going to run git status again, and I'm still on character list because locally I haven't deleted character list. I'm going to run git checkout master. Now I'm on the master branch. Okay? And I'm actually going to want to pull that master branch down to my local computer. So I have the latest local I have the most current version of the master branch. So I'm going to do git pull origin master. Okay, and notice it created a file for me now called character list. I'm going to run git status. Alright. And on branch master, and when you do branching, you get this message that your branch is ahead of origin master by 2 commits. It's actually not something I've dived into a whole lot, but there's probably a rebasing or another technique you can use to get rid of that. But it doesn't seriously mess up your work in any way, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to Command K and just run git log. And look, it made this other commit right here of merging pull request. So it actually made that another commit. I'm just going to scroll down, and there's all my old commits. So cool. So now I'm going to do git status. I'm on master. And look, I have both files now, characterlist.txt and cool story. And I can open my character list. And there you go. There's my populated file. And that seems like a roundabout way. Because if you really think about it, we went from like local branch to GitHub to master to local master. Like, we were kind of tricky with it. But that's a workflow that you get into. And a workflow is up for you to define. But we just basically made a branch and merged a branch super easy in just like 5 seconds. So I think if the point is to prove that branches aren't that crazy, you should start working with them. So, you know, yeah, check out, here's a good example of a branch. Front end. There you go. There's a branch called front end. And, see, back end. There you go. Now there's a branch for front-end stylist, HTML, CSS, and back-end, your Rails developers. You guys can work separately and put them all together. Like I said, just play around with branches and see what feels good about working with them. And it is totally feasible to do a project just on your master branch alone. You probably have. That's how you've been running it. But it becomes a lot easier and cleaner to start working in branches, because otherwise your work just starts getting mixed up like crazy. So that's a quick intro to branching. Go forth and branch. You can always hit me up at ranish@gmail.com or www.ranish.com and ask me any questions you'd like. But yeah, that's what's going on, guys. So hopefully this was helpful and a great intro to branching.